Yo, so the Boruto Chapter 23 sneak peek has just been released, and holy moly, this is already shaping up to be a crazy chapter. In all honesty, I was hoping to see a cheeky Kama Boruto or a limitless Kawaki in the sneak peek, but that was awfully ambitious as they don't tend to drop the major reveals in the sneak peek itself, but even the page that we got is very telling about what is about to go down in this chapter. Before we get into the sneak peek though, I will hopefully be dropping a chapter review this month, which will be highly edited just for you guys, and it should be one of the first on the platform, I hope. So if you do want to check out the chapter review as soon as it comes out, which will probably be on the 20th unless we get raw scans much earlier, then be sure to subscribe so YouTube recommends you that video as soon as it comes out. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into this sneak peek. So straight away, it looks like it's just going to be straight hands this chapter, as it looks like JURA is going straight for the kill against Boruto, wasting no time, as he's literally gripping Boruto's arm, which is holding his sword. But because of this, Boruto does the hand signs for the purple lightning release, and since JURA is holding on to Boruto, the purple lightning release from Boruto's body is passed on to JURA since they are in contact. And we've seen this sort of attack a few times before, with Sarada doing it to Hidari through Chidori's stream, which looks very similar to what is happening here. The hand signs are definitely different, but the concept is still the same. By using the opponent as a conductor, they send the lightning through both of them, which obviously, because they are immune, electrocutes their opponent. But what's extremely interesting here is JURA's reaction. His eyes widen significantly, as if he is genuinely experiencing fear from this attack of Boruto's. Now at the same time, it could just be a case of his eyes widening because it looks like Boruto teleported away, but it is very difficult to tell. But my interpretation of it is, since the hand of JURA was holding Boruto's arm is no longer holding him, and we see those lines which imply that Boruto teleported away, it definitely could be a case of JURA is just concerned that Boruto has teleported where he can't see him. But there is definitely two possibilities here of why JURA could seem so shook. First one obviously being, is purple lightning a direct counter to JURA? Now I think this could be a definite possibility, since if you look at JURA's body language, it's as if he is covering his face, obviously insinuating he doesn't want to get hit by this attack any further. And the way it shows him grunting implies that he has actually taken quite a bit of damage from this attack. But if you think about why could this attack work against JURA specifically, the odds of this being the case do significantly drop. Because as we saw with Sarada and Hidari wasn't significantly affected more by this attack compared to the rest of Sarada's attacks. And also if you think back to the early chapters of Boruto, I think Boruto used a very similar attack against Mamushi, and Mamushi wasn't really hurt a lot by this, so I don't think it would be a general counter against the rest of the Shinju. And there isn't really anything that implies JURA should be any different from the rest of the Shinju in terms of pure anatomy, but perhaps it's something to do with purple lightning itself which causes this effect inside of the Shinju. And perhaps this is also why Kashin Koji got Boruto to specifically train purple lightning, as he knows using 10 directions that this would be an effective counter against the Shinju. So I guess it could make sense, but at the same time, purple lightning itself as a technique hasn't been explained very thoroughly in terms of how it works in the series. We understand its use case where Kakashi created it as a way to compensate for losing his Chidori, where purple lightning could also be used as a dagger similar to that previous technique, but it also works most effectively as a mid-distance attack where you could launch the purple lightning directed at your opponent. However, as I said, in terms of how the jutsu works or how you create it, there is no clear indication as to how it differs from generic lightning release, apart from it likely using more chakra and hence being a more potent attack. But the potency of the attack shouldn't be what causes JURA to take damage here, as like I said, normal lightning release wouldn't have affected JURA in this way. So by just increasing the potency, I don't see it making a significant change to how it affects JURA. I mean, it could be a case of the combination of different chakra natures could be the reason that it directly counters him, but again, I think it's pretty unlikely that this would be the case. Although again, JURA does grunt in a way which implies he at least takes a decent amount of damage from this attack. And again, as I said earlier, there should be a reason as to why Kashin Koji prioritized Boruto learning the purple lightning release. And whatever the reason is, it does enough damage to make JURA lose his grip of Boruto, allowing him to teleport away. But also going on to the other possibility, we know that Boruto cannot use long distance teleportation to get away from JURA. So if Boruto was to use flying Raijin, he would still be in range of JURA to sense him or even just see him. So I don't entirely understand why JURA would look so concerned at the prospect of Boruto teleporting away. Which leads me on to my next point, which is where this actually happens in the chapter, because if this is near to the start, then fair enough. Maybe JURA is just acting shocked because he wasn't expecting to get hit by such a powerful attack, and it just temporarily caught him off guard, hence why he grunts and hence why he looks so shocked. But if this were to come later in the chapter, there could be a lot more context as to why JURA reacted in this way, which is why this sneak peek is actually a lot more interesting or telling as it may seem. same. Because there could be numerous reasons as to why JURA is reacting in this way. It could be kawaki, it could be something like awakened Shinki, who I covered in my latest video if you want to go check that out after you're done with this one, where I go a little bit more in depth into how that actually works. But there are so many possibilities as to why JURA could be reacting in this way, but with how wide his eyes have become, it does seem like Boruto has found a way to at least hurt JURA to some extent. The problem is we still have the idea that Kashin Koji 100% sees Boruto losing to JURA here. So realistically, whatever Boruto comes out with, unless it transcends 10 directions, which would only really happen if it was something like the Jougan or Momoshiki, it realistically isn't going to take out JURA or even put JURA in a situation where he has to retreat. Also, just a quick note, there is no sign of the karma here, and Boruto does look pretty scratched up and bruised, similar to where he was at in the last chapter, which to me implies that the sneak peek is coming relatively early in the chapter, since realistically Boruto isn't going to be able to hold up against JURA for an entire chapter without sustaining major damage, which again means that there is still room for the karma to come later in this chapter when Boruto is fully pushed into a corner. And I feel like this entire encounter could just be set up for Boruto getting pushed into a corner where he still is able to attack JURA, but JURA ultimately just ends up winning, and by the end of the chapter Boruto is fully in a corner, and that is when you see the karma. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think JURA is actually sustaining a lot of damage here and is concerned from this jutsu? Do you think it's just him getting caught off guard, or do you think it's the fact that Boruto teleported away that has caused him to look so shocked by Boruto's actions? Anyways, that is going to be a wrap for this video. Obviously a bit shorter as there is only so much I can cover going off a single page, but if you did enjoy, then make sure to smash the like button just so this video gets pushed out to more and more people. Be sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I'll be sure to cover the spoilers as soon as they're released. And with that all said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.